Welcome to last week's bets. I'm your host, Jake MacKenzie. This week, we have to start it off a little differently. You know, I wanted the first episode to be a great success, everybody to be happy. But you know what happened? You followed me blindly into some debt. So, if you rode with me, I'm looking at you right now and I have to do this. I apologize for last week's bets. They were atrocious. They weren't good. I'll be honest. I started the weekend 0 for 9. How do you start 0 for 9? You can't even mess around, get one right by chance? I mean, it can't get worse than this, folks. So I promise you right now, if you follow me again and we can't get this ball rolling, I'll just start making all my picks via coin toss. Because that can't be worse than me right now. You know, 50-50 is a lot better than 0 for 9. So, let's get to the first topic this week, and that's UFC. UFC 296 was this weekend. We had Leon Edwards defending his welterweight championship against Colby Covington. Colby all week trying to get in his head with all these crazy tactics, showing up in a blue coat, making crazy dead dad jokes, very tasteless. But you know what? Leon kept his composure, cool as a cucumber. He went in and just eased his way to victory. 4 straight rounds of dominance before Colby got a little bit going, but really, it wasn't much. And the first fight of the night was an absolute banger. Josh Emmett sent Bryce Mitchell straight to the shadow realm. Hit him so hard in the face that you could literally hear his brain ricochet off the back of his skull. He fell down, went into a bit of convulsions. It was a little scary. But I'll be honest, that's why we watch it. UFC, we love the violence. Keep it going. Now to the NFL. Let's get to our favorite segment, draft stock. We had the Panthers win this week, which moves them a little bit closer to that number 2 spot. While the Patriots, they keep losing because they're an absolute joke. And if they lose out and the Panthers can somehow manage to win one more before the end of the season, that's how the Patriots get to that number 1 spot, baby. And they're looking for it. That's all they want, is to get to the bottom of the league. Draft stock. Now, what are we even watching? It all starts with Thursday Night Football. We got the Chargers at the Raiders. Ooh, 42-0 at halftime. An absolute joke. You think the Raiders might take it a little easy on them coming out? No. They come out with a trick play from Myers to Adams for another touchdown, 49-0. The game ends 63-21, but who's seen the final? We probably all turned it off at halftime. The Chargers end up firing their coach the next day. I'm surprised they didn't let him go at halftime and tell him to watch the game from the TV himself. But anyway, Sunday, we got Carolina at Atlanta. Ooh, that could be good. 9-7. Terrible. It didn't even show up on the red zone, I don't think. And then finally, we got the Jets and Miami, a divisional matchup. No Tyreek Hill. They can maybe keep this thing close, right? No, 30-0. The Dolphins were up 17-0 before the Jets even had one offensive yard. They're not making the playoffs. Rodgers isn't coming back. The Jets' whole franchise is a joke. What are we even watching? Now, how about those Chiefs? Hey, we went into New England and handled business just like I said we would. And it would have been a double spread if it wasn't for Tony, who doesn't know how to use his hands. Ball hits him right in the hands. Interception. Second on the day for Pat. He goes to the sideline. He's flipping out. Probably because our wide receivers don't know how to catch balls. 32 drop passes. That leads the league. That's ridiculous. We got our running back coming to our quarterback before the game saying, hey, pass me the ball. I don't drop him. Hey, he gets 64 receiving yards and a big-time touchdown catch on the day. That's what we need. We got him, we got Rice, who can play, and that's about it. Our rest of our wide receivers are jokes. Now, turning to local sports, live at Center 200 at the Cape Breton Eagles St. John Sea Dogs game is our on-the-field reporter, Mike.
Jake, I'm coming to you live from outside of Center 200 because they will not let me in. It appears I do not have my press badge, and it's starting to look like I may have forgotten it in your car when you dropped me off earlier. I asked a security guard if I could use the washroom, and not only did he threaten to have me removed from the premises, but also implied quite heavily that I could be charged.
Alright. Now what can you tell us about the game?
Well, I'm hearing lots of cheers and excitement from the inside, but again, seeing as how they won't let me in, I can't be sure who it's for.
Anything else, Mike?
No, Jake, I suppose that's the gist of it. Reporting to you live on this chilly December evening, if you could call me an Uber, I'm Michael MacNeil, and I'm ready to go home.
Well, alright. Thanks a lot, Mike. That was very insightful. Now, let's take a look at who's going to the dance. In the AFC, we got the Ravens clinching, still with that number 1 spot though. They'd be getting the bye. Number 2, we got the Dolphins. They would be playing the Colts. I love me some Gardner Minshew. I want to see him do good. Chiefs versus the Bengals. We got the Bengals getting into the dance now. And hey, they like to tango. We like to tango. That could be a fun time. We'd still have the Jags versus the Browns. Turns out they really want that matchup to happen. So, hey, who are we to deny them? On the bubble, you got the Texans, the Bills, and the Steelers. Honestly, keep the goddamn Bills out of there. Let's just keep winning, have them lose. I don't want them in. Not because I'm scared. No. Just don't want them in. Don't like them. The Bengals in, Steelers out. NFC. We got the 49ers. They're still in the top spot. They're like the prom king of this whole situation. They're the big dogs. Nobody can take down the 49ers. Number 2, you got the Eagles. They'd be playing the Rams. Number 3, you got the Lions. They'd be going against the Vikings. Yeah, it's divisional, but I'd rather see the Lions versus the Rams. We got the Bucks taking on the Cowboys because the Cowboys lost so bad they actually moved to the 5th place position. Terrible. And on the bubble, you got the Saints, Seahawks, Falcons, and the Packers. Right now, honestly, I don't want to see any of them make it. This time, I believe it. I don't want none of them in there. Let's keep them out. I like the way it's set right now. So this week, we got the Rams in and the Packers out. I like that. And that's who's going to the dance. Now, let's take a trip to Fantasyland. This week, I come in, down my number 1 quarterback, CJ Stroud. Replace him with Gardner Minshew. He's a dog. Down my number 1 running back, Josh Jacobs. Replace him with Keaton Mitchell. Didn't really pan out. Down my number 1 wide receiver, Keenan Allen. Replace him with Odell Beckham. Also didn't really pan out. But we're here at Monday night. I go into this game down 135-129. All I got left, Jordan Brooks, Seattle defense. Need them to get me there. Currently, as we sit, I am 1.3 points away. I'm watching the game right now as we speak. I'm stressed out. Look at me. It's a nail biter. Got none left. They're all gone. My hair's turning gray. But hey, it all started for his team when Baker decided to put up 40 points. Who's seen that coming? Not me. And for any of you folks out there that decided, I'm going to start Derrick Henry in the first game of the fantasy playoffs. Hey, that didn't pan out for you either. Because he was the first person to touch the ball 20 plus times and get 15 yards or less. That's never happened. So he only put up like 1 point for you. That sucked. But let's hope by the end of today, I'm moving on to the second round. That's my fantasy. This is Fantasyland. Let's keep it going. Now, this week, betting-wise, 3 dogs won. There was 2 pushes, 9 covers, 4 ties. But if you were smart enough to bet on Carolina or Tampa Bay, you made money. That's all I gotta say. But let's move on to next week's bets, okay? We got the Browns at the Texans. Now, if CJ's coming back, we're riding with the Texans. If he's still injured, it's Brownies all day. Joey Footsteps gets it done. The Lions at the Vikings, hey, the Lions are back, baby. They keep it moving. They push the Vikings out of the playoffs. The Cowboys at the Dolphins. Hey, Hill should be back, and he could probably run wild on this Cowboys defense. But we know the Cowboys are frauds. They can't beat teams on the road that are over 500. They're going to get squashed. Dolphins get a W. Now, Washington's playing the Jets. Hear me out. We're probably not watching this game because it's terrible. So let's just take the under on that and we'll check the score at the end of the day. Now finally, the big game of the week, the one we're all watching. San Francisco, Baltimore, the prom king, prom queen. They match up for the first time in the regular season. We're rolling with San Fran. They're the best team in the NFL right now. They're going to put a beating on the Ravens. They're going to keep it moving all the way to number 1. Let's go. That's next week's bets. Quick update. Jordan Brooks got me the points that I needed to make it through. I'm winning my fantasy football matchup, baby. Going on to the next round, and I'll see y'all there. But for right now, we're going to have to say goodbye. This beautiful trophy that's been on the desk, it's its last week with us. It's been nice, but you're no longer mine, and I'm going to have to hand you off to the next guy. Until next year when we win it again, we're saying goodbye to this beautiful trophy. Anyway, I'm Jake MacKenzie. It's been last week's bets. And just remember, don't take the things you love for granted, because you might lose them. See you next week.